Hey guys, welcome back to SUP'S Garage. On this video, I'm going to be showing you what I thought was the easiest way to hook up electric fans on your LS swap. Alright, so this is the current setup I have right now that I'm going to be removing and replacing it with the Amazon harness that I bought here that I'm going to show you in a bit. But the reason why I have it like this now is because I was really more in a rush trying to get the engine and getting the truck running. And I was eventually going to go back and redo all this, which is why I'm doing this video now, to show you in the detail what I thought would be the easiest way to wire up my electric fans onto my LS. So let's get started. Now these connections from the Amazon harness should work if you're using GM or Chevy model fans, if I'm not mistaken. But in my case, these won't work because my fans are aftermarket. So I got these universal connections that I'm going to be splicing one side to the Amazon harness and the other side coming from my fans to be able to connect them together. So basically I'm going to be cutting off the ones it has now and then putting the ones that I bought on. Which, by the way, these already come as one piece, so all we gotta do is cut it right in the center. Therefore, I have a connection for the fan, and the other side will go to the Amazon harness. Alright, so I'm just gonna start off by cutting this one here right in the center. Just like this. Alright, now I'm just gonna expose some of the wiring, and you're gonna be doing this for all 4 wires. And I'll be using 4 of these type of connectors, basically 1 for each wire. You're going to want to twist the wire a little bit before you stick it in the connector to make it easier to put in. Also, only put the wire in halfway because you're going to be clamping it one side at a time. Alright, and once you got the wire in, go ahead and clamp it down only on the side you're working on. And just make sure that it's in there tight, that you're not able to pull it out. And then just do the exact same thing for all the other wires. Now keep in mind this is only one plug for one of the fans. You still got to do the exact same thing for the other fan plug as well. And again, you're going to be using 4 connectors for this side as well. Alright, now that that's out of the way, we can go ahead and connect these to our Amazon harness next. Alright, so here's our 2 fan connections coming from the Amazon harness. And I'm going to start off by cutting off this one here first, just like so. Then I'm just going to strip these wires next. And don't forget to twist. And now we can go ahead and insert the connections. And once you've done that, you can go ahead and clamp them both down. Alright, so we got one plug out of the way, and now you're just going to repeat the exact same steps on the other plug. Alright, now that we got these fully on, I'm going to be using some heat to shrink down these connectors, therefore we don't get any moisture or water in between. And just make sure you do this on all 4 connectors. Alright, now that we got this part out of the way, you don't necessarily have to do this. I'm going to be adding some wiring loom to my wires just to protect it a little better and to make it look a little neater. And I'll be doing the same thing for this one here. Alright, and now we got these plugs out of the way. Alright, as you can see, I've already got rid of all the existing wiring, including the relays that were sitting here right on the fender. So now I'm just going to cut off the old connectors that I had on my fans and connect the universal ones that I bought to finish up on the wiring. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cut these off. And just like before, expose the wires a little bit. And then just twist. Go ahead and insert your connectors and then clamp them both down. And I forgot to mention, just make sure you're connecting the right color wires together, red with red and black with black. You're going to see a blue wire coming from my fan because in my case, the blue wire is the power wire, so I'm connecting it to the red one. Now I'm just going to use some heat again to shrink the connectors. And again, you don't have to do this part, but I'll be adding some wiring loom to this side as well. And now just repeat the process on the other fan. Alright guys, so as you can see, I got both of the connections ready coming from the fan, but before I start connecting everything from the Amazon harness, I'm going to be using these red connectors to be able to connect the Amazon harness onto my LS standalone harness. Now if you didn't watch my part 2 video on how to install an LS engine into your OBS, on that video I'm actually using an LS standalone harness that comes with these additional wires. So that's why you're able to see these 2 wires here. Now if you wanted to, you could actually use the pins that the Amazon Amazon harness comes with and just find the pins for the fans from your ECU and install it that way. But I find it easier because I already have these wires out. I'm just going to be cutting off these pins and connecting the red connectors as well to plug up onto my LS harness. Alright, real quick before I connect this all to the truck, I want to explain what each connection is on this harness just in case. So the first thing we're going to be going over is going to be the power wire, and basically this can go straight to the battery or anything that's constant power. And the next part I'm going to be going over is this connection here, which is just going to be a ground, which you could bolt down to anywhere you want as long as it's a good ground. The connection after that is these two wires here that I went over earlier, and as you can see, I've already connected my red connectors on here, ready to be connected to the LS harness in the truck. And again, these are just the wires for fan 1 and fan 2. And of course, the next part are the relays for the whole harness can work like it should. Moving along, we got another ground wire, again, that you can bolt down anywhere as long as it's a good ground. And then finally, you have your two connections for your fans. So really, it's not that much to this harness. It's pretty simple, and that's why I went this route versus all the chaos that I had on it before. Alright, so I have my harness here, and I'm going to start off with the two connections on the fans. Connect the first one, like so. Move on to the next fan and connect this one as well. So now we got both of the fans connected so far. Next, I got my ground here, but I'm actually going to be connecting both of my grounds together and bolting them down to the radiator support here. And I'm going to be using this bolt here that I'm already using as a ground anyway. Alright, next I'm connecting my fan 1 and fan 2 wires. And again, one side's coming from the Amazon harness and the other side goes to my LS standalone harness. Once you got those connected, we could finally move on to the last part, which is just going to be the power wire left, which I'm going to be connecting to my original fuse box that's still in the truck. And in my case, I'm going to be using this one on the side, but you could also use either one of these as well. Alright, now just make sure it's nice and tight because you definitely don't want this getting loose while you're driving. Alright, so once you have everything connected, then you can go back and make it look nice and neat, however you want it to look. And I have my relays here tucked in the corner, and I just got it screwed down to the radiator support out of the way. But I do have to say, I definitely like this setup way better than what it looked like before, because it just looks a little bit more nicer than what I had. But as you can see, I still got some more cleaning to do, which I'll worry about later. And just to show you the rest of the wiring, how I routed it out of the way. And at this point, you should go ahead and double check everything and make sure that the fans are turning on like they should, and as well as waiting to see if they shut off like they're supposed to. But that's going to put an end to this video, guys. I hope it helps many people out there. Definitely hit the like button if you enjoy watching this video. And if you like watching videos like this, please help me by subscribing to the channel, because I would definitely appreciate the support. But like always, guys, don't forget, God loves every single one of you guys. God bless you guys, and I'll see you on the next video.